Hi, thanks for watching today. This is a video just to show you a quick overview of the fall 2022 Indiana tax lien auctions. The season just started and some of the auctions have already happened even, but there's a lot left to look at. So what we want to do is take you through some counties very quickly and show you how to use a tool called Parcel Fair to do your research on which properties to buy. There's tens of thousands of properties for you to look at, so it's important that if you want to be competitive, that you can get through your research quickly and thoroughly so that you don't have to manually research each property and click on each property. So that's what we're going to go over today. So on the screen right now, this is the website, Parcel Fair. We're on the Indiana page where you can see a bunch of the tax sales coming up through September into October and even later. So if you look at the counties here, you can see each one of them has a button to go view the map for that county. So I'll take you to the map, and we're looking at the whole state right now. So you can see the gray lines of the county boundaries, and you can see concentrations of yellow coloring, and that's really just the properties that are currently in these auctions. The weird thing about tax auctions is a lot of times you do your research and properties will disappear over time as the auction approaches because owners redeem and the taxes are paid, and so they're no longer going to be in the auction. But we start off with something like this, and we'll take a look at, for instance, Lake County, way up in the northwest corner of the state. And if you're familiar with Lake County, it has a city called Gary, Indiana, which is really a suburb of Chicago up here, further into Illinois. So looking at Gary, you'll see some very dense yellow. There's a lot of properties in this tax sale in particular. And you can see where the concentrations are. It's typically residential areas. And there's just so much to take in and look at when you look at it this way. So you may zoom in and look for structures, look for houses, look for different things that, maybe even neighborhoods that appeal to your strategy. And then you would basically just click on something like this, and you can pull up a quick little call out of information on the property so you can dig in a little bit deeper. So I went ahead and pulled a few properties up just to show you some things available in Lake County for the 2022 fall auction. So we've selected this one property to look at, and this is the report that we give you for that property that shows you, again, a lot of information from multiple sources that will help you understand if this is a property you want to pursue or not. So right off the bat, we can tell you the owner, the county, of course, and then the fact that it's in a tax auction this year, the acreage, 0.09 acres, and that there are structures on this according to the county record. And a few more identifiers, the CS number, PIN number, other ways to identify the property besides just the parcel number. That can be useful once you dig into more research. And then we have valuations on the right side that show you that, again, the improvements are worth $36,000 for a total value of $39,800. The address for the property, of course. Then we're showing you that there's only one tax lien available. Sometimes, and especially in other states, you'll end up with situations where multiple tax liens are available on one property, but in this case, it's just one. Next, we show you that it's a vacant property address. Now, this doesn't mean we have someone on the street checking on that house. It just means that we know that the Postal Service, the U.S. Postal Service, has indicated that this property is not receiving mail and, to the best of their knowledge, is vacant. Moving further down, we have the legal description, and then we have the opportunity zone below that shows that this is in a low-income community. And if you click on this opportunity zone information, you can find out more about it from HUD.gov is where the program is essentially run from. I have another video about opportunity zones that will show you more about that, but it's a good thing to know if you're investing in the area. Before I get to the tax auction, I want to show on the right side we have Google Street View giving us the latest imagery they have from the street. And if we wanted to get a closer look, we can get a panorama view and take a look down the neighborhood and even take a ride down the street if we want to. It's very full featured. Google does a great job with giving us that information for you to do your research. There's, of course, a satellite view below that you saw on the map a moment ago. But next up, one of the most important things is if you are interested in buying this property, you need to know how to buy it, or at least how to buy the tax lien. So we're telling you in the purchase options box here that there's an upcoming auction. It's the Lake County tax sale. And if you click that, you'll find out all the details you need to register. The auction is on September 30th. It will be online with Zeus Auctions. And there's the listed parcel number below that that's kind of decorated in the way that the auction site had it. And then the taxes that are due. And we have links to register for the tax sale, or go look at the original auction list if you want to go see where we pulled this from. So that's top to bottom how you would look at a property and possibly decide to pursue it. Below that, we also have more information like the owner's address and the parcel's address side by side, so you can tell that the company that holds the property on the left column is in a different address than the parcel. So the owner does not live there from what the county records show us. Moving to the right are research links where you can see deep links into the associated sites where you can look up more information. So the first one at Lake County, we have an assessor property details information for this property. So we link straight to this other website that gives you information from the county. Next, we have the PDF version of that's very official looking if you take a look at that. Next up, we actually have the Lake County GIS lookup. So this takes us to the GIS website for Lake County, and it actually will take us to this specific property on their map. And so now we're looking at the property on their website as well with the official information that they provide. Next, we have the county recorder info and property liens. So we can go check out liens available in the history of this property. This is very useful for doing some of your research as well. Again, just trying to pull this into one place for you to get to these sites quickly and cross-reference everything. Moving down, we have the state actually aggregates their own assessment details too. So we have a link to the state's assessor record as well for Indiana. And we'll stop there with the links, but it's worth noting that there are other ways to track your research. Like you could add notes on this property and say, I like this property, and do something like that. Or you can add it to a list like one of these. Or you can create a new list if you want to make a new Indiana fall auctions property list and save that. So top to bottom, that's how you would research a property and start to track your research. So we'll click through a few more just to give you a feel for what's in the auction. Okay, so here's the next property we're looking at, and we're going to go through this one really quickly so you can see how we just put this through its paces. We can tell the acreage, that there's a structure on it, the valuation, the address, there's one tax lien available, the sale amount. The fact that this property address shows that it's occupied is interesting. We have a legal description and an opportunity zone, again, like the previous one. We can view the photo, open the panorama view, which we'll skip this time. We could add a favorite if we want to track this for later. I'll click on that. This button to view on map is going to take us to another screen, so I'm not going to click that right now. And then lastly, remember, the auction is not on Parcel Fair. The auction is on another website. So this upcoming auction button will take us to the information to register, when the sale is, and how to get there, and the list where it came from. So the research links are the same. At the bottom, you can see Lake County and then Indiana State. We can tell in this case that the owner also is not in the same address as the property. And remember, you can add lists, add notes, add photos. Just you can track your research here to whatever depth you want to go to. So another property. Here's another residential property, occupied, tax lien, $33,000 valuation. It's a much larger lot, and also Lake County. This one is not an opportunity zone. So again, we're getting pretty fast at this. You can see this one's actually a wooded area, and one tax lien. It's occupant status is unknown in this case, and it is in the tax sale. So you get the idea. We're clicking through properties pretty quickly, and depending on your strategy, you might be able to save these for later or rule them out and get them out of your face so you don't look at them again. But again, that's how we click through. Now, let's jump over to another, let's do a different county in Indiana, and this gives us a chance to show you the search. We have a great way to select a different state. We have Indiana chosen. We're coming out of Lake County. This time we'll do Marion as a large county with Indianapolis. We could look for vacant land or just buildings and improvements. So sure, we'll look at just properties with buildings on them. This is useful if you're looking at back history or over-the-counter inventories. It doesn't really matter in this case because we're looking for auction properties. Let's look for a valuation of at least $20,000, just something to start with. And there's not an over-the-counter inventory to worry about, so we could select upcoming auction. It won't really change anything. If we were really picky, we could get into occupancy types and say, I really just want the vacant properties. I really just want the occupied properties, but we'll save that for another time. And then the owner location, again, if you want to get really picky, you could say, only give me owners out of state, or only give me owners in a different city or different address. And that just means you want to find a situation where the owner doesn't live in the property. They live somewhere else and might be disconnected from the situation. So now we have our search for Marion County, Indiana. Remember, this is going to be a subset of the properties, only the residential ones worth over $20,000. And there's still quite a few. There's over 1,000 properties that meet those criteria from our search. So let's zoom in on Marion and Indianapolis area, and you can see still quite a few properties in here. Not as dense as Gary or Lake County, rather, but there's still plenty to choose from. And even to the edge of the rural areas there's quite a few. And let's just dive in and take a look at one of those properties in Marion County. And remember, we've gone through this process of how do you research. And so we have all the same information here for this property that you saw on the previous properties. It's occupied. It has one tax lien. It's in a different opportunity zone from Marion County. There's a car parked in front of it on Street View, so that's in our way, but that's okay. And we can also see the Marion County links. Now, these are going to be different than Lake County's links because they have a different website. So the county property card for Marion actually looks like this instead of what we saw on Lake County. So that's very helpful that you're able to get to a different county's information. We could also go to their GIS site, but you've seen that already. And then the Indiana State Assessment, same as before. So another point of difference here. When we click to purchase the property, you'll see there's a different auction date, there's a different website on govies.com, and the information changes along with the property, so you don't have to go find it yourself. We've found it for you. So last one, let's just look at one more. This is a commercial property to mix it up a little bit. This is in downtown Indianapolis, and again, we're looking at all the same information. We're looking at valuations. We might even go panorama just to see. This looks like a nice, interesting area. We've got some trees behind it. Building looks nice. So whatever you're interested in there, just picking out. And so that's yet another property we've been able to go through very quickly. So that covers everything for those two counties that I wanted to show you. Let's take this search. I wanted to zoom out one last time. This is a search across the whole state with the county borders intact. So you can see Indianapolis, unfiltered, has quite a few properties. To the, the northeast, we have Fort Wayne. Plenty of properties there to choose from. Up here we have South Bend and Elkhart. That would be on the Michigan border near Lake County as well. Terre Haute, Indiana, here on the border of Illinois. You can see quite a few properties there near Indiana State University. There's actually a large parcel over here on the river. So you see I can quickly navigate the state, navigate the county, look at properties that interest me, and then remember I can run a search that will filter down for my specific strategy and save me a ton of time across all the auctions in the state, so I don't have to do all that work myself. So I hope you find this useful. Parcel Fair covers, I think we're up to 9 states now. We're adding more. And we just try to really focus on what the tax investor needs and how to save you time, how to get you good information, and frankly, how to connect you with those public data sources so you can cross-reference it yourself and make smart purchasing decisions. So Thanks again for watching, and check out some more of our videos if you get a chance.